Hello, dear listener. I hope you're having a good day, 'cause I am. To an extent, I am. Well, would you look at that? It seems that the person who has been spreading false allegations of me drawing CP has been caught drawing feral. Projection much, huh? But rather quickly, before I do anything else with my time, before I go back to living my life as per usual, I want to leave you, dear listener, with some rather interesting things. I did, in fact, try to warn Lio and his community that this individual was not only spreading false allegations, but also that they were, by all means, not as infallible as they claim them to be. So now, dear listener, you know that this lion man does in fact have skeletons in his closet. That this lion man who runs around rather fervently and maliciously harassing other people for small infractions, such as perceived transphobia, like myself, now has been caught with two individuals doing some rather scummy things that he was well aware of. He was aware of Coyote's gay op long before everyone else and did nothing. He was aware of Linkie's false allegations of me and did nothing. Well, dear viewer, I am giving you this today far before they'd say anything else publicly, because I want you to know that of course they will be attempting damage control. They will of course be trying to pretend and to crawl back into the light and act as if they didn't. That they didn't know. That they were unaware. Well, dear listener, I am here to tell you that they were aware. I did tell them. I did, in fact, warn them. But, to quote Lio, I am like gilded poo. I always come crawling back. Well, Lio, how's it feel to crawl? And instead of giving you mercy and instead of giving you the grace that you deserve, I was told that your admins do in fact have this call because I wasn't shown any mercy nor grace by you or your community. Now you know. You knew far before today, far before today, that Linkie was fully and utterly capable of this level of debauchery. Projection much is my thoughts when I first received this. Well, dear listener, no longer does this man not have any skeletons in his closet, and please, by all means, hold this above his head like he would with others. Be as cruel and as unforgiving as he and his community are when they receive much lesser infractions from others. This man and his community have supported both my sexual harasser and his white knight. They have given a call where I am supposedly transphobic to them, and they have since posted it publicly. No, it wasn't started over art, but rather, that situation will be discussed a different day. That discussion deserves its own video. This one today, though, Lio knew about all this, and he did nothing. Actually, he defended Linkie, him and his community both. Now, not only can Lio not pretend like he didn't know and that he was fully unaware of what was happening. But neither can Heaton, nor Monstrous, nor Seraphina, nor any of their community. Neither Lumi, none of them. Well, dear listener, today you have something. A certain rabbit will be getting this in his inbox. Some people will be listening to this who were all outside of what was going on. And today, you have something to hold Lio in as much accountability and in as much regard as he holds others who are in his position. Hold him to the same ire that he would with others. He knew about Linkie. He knew Linkie was capable of this, because if Linkie was capable of falsely accusing someone of CP, well then, I am fully sure that Linkie is fully capable of posting and enjoying Feral. Well, listener, we have something to hold him accountable for. We have a skeleton in his closet, and you know what? After today, I will emerge from my reading closet. I'll go back to life as per usual. I will continue to attempt to fill out the numerous paperwork for me to go to tech school, and I will apprise all of you on how that goes. I am still awaiting for the results myself. But anyways, as I am living life, I hope you, my listeners, those tuning into my channel for the first time, will do me the distinct honor and do me the distinct favor of being as he would, as his community would, when something like this comes up for someone else, for not them, from someone outside of their community or within it. This is something you can hold Lio accountable for. He knew. Lumi also knew. All of them knew. Anyways, if there were any apologies from them, any means for which they wish to atone, save it. My life is better not having you all in it. Because apparently, even when we disagree, it is better for you to harass and be a dick to everyone around you who disagrees even slightly than to face actual problems. The very real issue of someone, Linkie, spreading false allegations. You did nothing. You acted on nothing. Well, would you look at this? Dear listener, I hope you have a lovely day. If it is your birthday, happy birthday. And I hope the next time we see each other is a fan fiction reading rather than a continuation of this. If you haven't drank any water, please do so. If you haven't eaten, please do so, and do take your meds. And if you need to hear it, you are loved and needed in this world. Have a lovely day. I do hope, before I sign off completely and allow you to listen to this call, that you don't harass anyone. I don't condone that type of behavior. I don't condone gay ops, and I certainly do not condone some of the scummy, awful things that Lio and his community do. And I would say that I am saying that for once, It seems they may need a taste of their own medicine, that they need to know the fruits of their own labor. But do not, listener, stoop to their level. Hold them accountable, yes, but do not harass. Do not make more problems than there already are. Simply let them know that this is unacceptable. That this is something they need to be held accountable for. They act all self-righteous and high and mighty, but for once, they're in the hot seat. Once is an event. Twice is a coincidence. And you know what we think of coincidences. Nothing is simply a coincidence. It's a coincidence that Coyote was a part, and not only that, but a mod in this server. And Lio was his friend. Makes you wonder if he was willing to defend Linkie and Coyote until it started to look bad on him. Then who else is he defending behind closed doors that turn out to be just as scummy as these two individuals? If you wish to apologize, Lio, Heaton, Monstrous, Seraphim, any of you, I'll accept it. But outside of that, after that, I want you to never speak of me again. Keep my name out of your mouths, just like I tell Spaz all the time. Keep my name out of your mouth. Keep me out of your mind. I do not want to live in your minds rent-free, because obviously they are unstable. Anyways, enough of me talking. I'll leave you with this call. This rather interesting call. Remember this individual caught drawing feral porn? Falsely accused me of drawing CP, even though I have it written everywhere that the characters that I draw are all adults. Anyways, I hope all of you have a lovely night, and I'll leave this call with you. Good night.
Okay.
I'm more just confused on what's happening.
Okay. Well, we're here to talk about this, so like I told you, Linkie, this was supposed to be in the Senate and to begin with, but some stuff happened, and also I'm conflicted on a few things. So taking the more personal approach, I feel like is more appropriate when it comes to this situation. So you said you had no idea why I would have to talk to you. Well,
I genuinely don't.
okay.
I can't really think of anything I have or could have done.
Alright. So I have hate here to moderate and help a tiny bit because I have really no idea of how this call will go, because like I've mentioned, it touches some things that can be quite sensitive and something that I perceive to be negligence on your part. And this is also to remain consistent, because this is something we have addressed publicly in the server that we have spoken against. So I have no choice, and trust me, I don't like the fact that I have to do this.
Could you just tell me what is going on?
So, I was approached recently with certain content you have shared and that you have requested and commissioned and liked.
Ah, those artworks. Okay, I know exactly which ones you're talking about. Yep, scat fetish. I know exactly which ones you're talking about, and I'm not afraid to talk about them.
I'm not
No?
I'm not talking about scat. I'm going to say this right now. If it's a armless fetish, even if it's a fetish that I personally do not like,
Armless?
I don't give a shit.
Oh, harmless. My bad.
The images I was shown feature some kind of it's non-safe for work. It includes stuff that you have publicly spoken against in the server and on your Twitter. So I'm just gonna get.
Are you calling me a chomo?
I don't know what that is.
A child molester, chomo. Child molester, chomo.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
This is really not that. I'm gonna get straight to the point. What I was shown, and I had to verify this on my own, is that on your Twitter, Linkie Pop Alt, back in November, you have shared art that can only be described as zoophilic.
Oh my god, dog. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
That featured animal genitalia.
What the fuck? No!
Some of them which were fetishized, sexualized.
Get out of here, Adblock. What the fuck? Okay, no, I'm searching this up on my Twitter right now.
I can show you if you wish.
Please?
I will. I'm not here to lie.
Is it from like an account I'm following?
No, this is the account that you had linked on your Discord that is no longer linked.
Yeah, those are from years ago, and honestly, I am ashamed of all of them. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
I'm very much ashamed of those artworks. Mayette there, however, is genuinely a nice person and a friend, and I try not to pay attention to their content. Genuinely.
So here's the problem, Linkie. So I am aware that one of this piece of art was given to you, or commissioned or requested, I don't know the details, was given to you while you were 17 years old, but you still shared it while you were an adult, 23 if I'm not mistaken.
The character Linkie has always been an adult, even back then.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Get rid of it. It's scum. You can be mean to it. Bully it. Have fun.
Here's the thing. If you are a minor, you are into this stuff, you buy this stuff, you create this stuff, you're a kid. I can pass it on to immaturity and someone that just doesn't know right from wrong. But the thing is that most of what I found was created and shared while you were an adult. And to be more specific, the piece you liked in July, you liked this while the first key situation was going on, and you were publicly shaming First Key to being into animal genitals.
I more liked it because it was an artwork from a friend. Mayette there, however, is genuinely a nice person and a friend, not because I'm into the genitalia.
Still.
And is it wrong for me to show support to friends?
If it has to do with zoophilia, absolutely.
Fair enough.
And still, a year ago, you created 3D renders of your characters with animal
3D
genitals.
renders of your characters with animal genitals.
That was not support to a friend. What do you have to say about that?
Really nothing.
Because you do realize I'm gonna have to tell Reaver and the rest, right?
Yes.
And the reason why I am handling this and not Lio or the other mods is because you and I are friends. I consider you a friend. I genuinely liked you as a person, and not gonna lie, I'm hurt. I don't want to be doing this right now, but I have no choice. Because we went against people who did similar.
In my defense, I'm genuinely trying to get away from not safe work things. The closest I have is that 3D model that I've been working on in Reaver's server. But even then, I'm genuinely just trying to move away from all this. The whole reason why the Linkie Pup alt is still an 18+ is because I know I have all those on there. And getting rid of all of them would just be creating a whole new Twitter account.
So you...
I am ashamed. Ashamed that I commissioned those, ashamed that I got gifted those, ashamed that all of this had happened. All that I made those things.
So you knew that those were on your Twitter?
Very much, yes.
Okay. So can I ask you why you would shame Fursky for doing something that you have done? Did you think that no one would ever find out?
I kind of figured it would be found out eventually. It's more the way Fursky is. They genuinely just are attracted to the animal parts. I'm attracted to it because attractive female. It's more just how the character has been drawn by those multiple artists. The ones that I made was just because I was being dumb. And I genuinely regret those. And I'm genuinely trying to move away from them, and I wish I could just scrub them. But I knew I couldn't. Because once something's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Like, you can't get rid of them.
I'm gonna have to be mean here, and I'm sorry, but if you were really ashamed of those, you would have at least tried. You want to know how I found out about those? I tried to find you on Twitter so I could add you. I didn't have to search far. So if you really tried, if you were really ashamed, they would have been gone. Then you have anti-zoo on your bio. But you created those things. It just makes no sense. And if it makes no sense, then sorry, I cannot believe you.
I don't blame you.
So here is how it's going to work. Everything has been documented. Everything. The staff has been made aware. They have seen all of it. I will have to contact Reaver about this and go into a call with her, because I'm gonna have to talk to all those people and the Hive. If they make the decision to remove you, that's their decision. If they don't remove you, then I'm going to be honest, I'm gonna remove myself from that server. Because I simply cannot continue this friendship.
I do not blame you.
So here's what I want you to do. First, you're gonna have to delete that Twitter account. Because by your own words, you claim to be ashamed of it, so it has no reason to remain there. The likes of you liking zoophilic art?
I really don't. No. You know what I'm trying to say. Not anymore. I'm trying to get away from it all. Because if you look at like the things that I've recently been reposting and sharing and liking, has just been mostly memes and Warhammer things. I've been trying to stay away from that kind of content.
Linkie, the one you liked was 2.5 months ago. That's not a long time.
2.5 months ago was when I was still 23, and when I hit 24, when I hit last month, really, I needed a change. I needed to change.
So you're telling me that from being 17 to 23, that was fine. That's Hey, I saw you on mute.
Not entirely.
I mean, personally, Oscar, I wouldn't go far to say it's like fine with it. Like, Linkie, would you be fine to say it's just like to the baser extent you were complicit with it?
More or less complicit, because during that time I had a friend who actually drew the really dark one, the one that's posted with okay. That friend was extremely toxic, and I've recently broken away from them and am trying to move past, and I'm trying to be better, but apparently it's not enough.
It's not that it's not enough.
It's that it happened at all.
Yeah. And you have publicly spoken against people who have done similar thing to you, Fursky being one of them.
I think it was around the time that we were dunking on Fursky that my opinion started to change about the whole situation, because that's when the friend was A, getting very toxic, and B, we were shaming Fursky, and I realized, hey, this probably isn't.
Can you clarify what you mean by, like, your opinions had changed? Because you said it went from dunking on Fursky, or we're dunking along with members of Senate. I mean, correct me if you want me to phrase it differently. Dunking on Fursky with members of Senate to your thoughts, opinions on it changed. Like, what do you mean?
The opinion about it has been strange, because in most circles of the furry community, which is where that friend had come from, animal genitalia is seen as okay as long as it's on an anthracized character that is obviously an adult. It's seen as okay there, and I'm not okay with it now, and I was then, and I'm sorry.
If I could make a difference here, excluding the genitalia, have you seen any of the videos, the streams, or Senate calls where we've gone through Fursky's F list?
No.
Asuka, have you?
I have.
I know I was on one briefly. I watched. Because like from your personal account, Linkie, it's the matter of if you were to see some of these images, barring your opinions on like the genitalia existing. I think the issue is like how it is being used and what is being depicted, and what Asuka and I and most people generally would say in a colloquial sense is zoophilic. And the issue with Fursky is that they claim to be someone who's anti-zoo in a group of predator hunters who are also anti-zoo, and they had content that, while one would argue is simulated, is still depicting zoophilic acts, and so it's hypocritical, if you get what I
Right.
mean, and
Yes.
therefore it makes her and the greater Fox Mafia look bad. And
it's when that.
Sorry, I just wanted to finish this real quick. I'm sorry. I just need to stop.
Sorry.
So the issue comes down to, it's a matter of choice that Fursky chose to have those up, and even after everything was going on, everything was being said and done, she chose to keep them up, and because of that, we found them. So that's my point. There you go. Go ahead.
And it was because of that my opinion of, hey, maybe this isn't okay, or isn't, started to become, maybe this isn't okay.
Attacking Fursky?
Attacking Fursky, and then my friend becoming ever more toxic towards only ever wanting to draw that specific style of genitalia.
I mean, if I could ask,
because I mean, if you look back on the furthest point of my Twitter, I've always depicted Linkie with very much more of a human member.
3D renders of your characters with animal genitals.
Right.
Rather than this, and that from November 8th, 8th, I think is the first. Last year, mind you. Was more just because the friend had. It wasn't really something I wanted to do, but I was like, yeah, sure, well, you're my friend, I trust you. I have regrets.
I just wanted to ask this. So the Twitter has always been 18 plus?
Has always been 18 plus.
Since
its inception.
Have you had any moments where people have liked or commented on the illicit content? Or just any, like, whether it's you posted or something that you've reposted or liked on Twitter that you were under the, that you were under the impression was underage?
No. Never once.
Okay. No, I'm just
and
asking
granted,
to see if you're being vigilant about it, is all.
Yeah, no, my shit was. And on top of that, although, yes, I have started playing...
Linkie, you're cutting out. Dip out and come back in. There you go.
There we go.
Whatever you did, it was working. Can you start over from the part right there?
So, my stuff never gets noticed on Twitter, so I don't really ever see people liking or commenting. Most of the time, whenever I do get a like, it's either from a friend, maybe two friends if I'm lucky. But most of the time, my stuff goes unnoticed, so I don't really ever worry about that. But now, especially now that I'm trying to shift away, I have kept the 18 plus stuff, so that way if some kid comes in, they see 18 plus to get the fuck out of here, child,
Well, yeah, it's anything that they do after that point, it's kind of on them. If, like, you don't know for certain, like, they don't put their age up there, like, of course no one's gonna hold you accountable for that.
And honestly, I was sort of debating on just deleting my Twitter anyways.
I'd like to get back to that, if you don't mind. I know that Asuka's started this. So before we get into it, have you told or brought up or informed any member within the Senate circle, whether it be staff, mod, former member, of this content, any doubts you've had about the whole Fox Mafia situation?
No. Closest I got was Scotty or Josh from the Fox Mafia drama. They were cast as X. That was the closest I got to saying something along the lines of maybe I'm just not feeling it anymore, or doing
Okay.
artwork really.
I mean, the big thing that I had brought up, Asuka had brought to my attention was that you had made this choice to become anti-zoo. As far as I'm aware, in the timeline, like even pre-Coyote situation last year. So, it's like the suspicion that you made this change out of pressure from the server and you actually did it outside of any. Yeah, no. I just want you to know that we don't hold any feelings of that towards you either. Like, if there's like one bit of credit I can give you, it's just like I'm glad you did that of your own volition.
So I was, and this kind of has to go back to a certain individual. He went by Rogue Internet Man. You may have heard of him, you may have not. Big, just kind of lolcow tuber, just kind of grifts, and he has admitted that on multiple occasions that that's his schwang. If I was to go to him right now and say, "Hey, have I always been like anti-zoo?" he would automatically just say yes, because I've always been. Because if he figured that out, Lord God, I would not be here right now. If he knew, I wouldn't be around.
Okay.
Like, there are people who can and will vouch for me that has always been my opinion of, if it looks like an animal, even if it speaks like a human, it's not okay. And I understand the concern of the animal genitalia on the character, and I mean, 2 of those aren't even my own artworks. I was more liking them because, it's my character.
Right.
And granted, one of them was from when I was 17, literally I think it was drawn literally the day before I was 18. And I more blamed the artist for taking a not safe for commission from a 17-year-old.
Yeah, well, that's sorry,
Grayscale Raid, if you want to look them up on for Affinity.
No,
I fucking hate them for
Linkie.
Here's the thing.
It's disgusting. I'm not talking about the image. I'm talking about the fact that when it's like they did it while you're a kid, and now you're like giving them a boost here. Now I don't care if you're joking about it or not. It's like that was fucked up that happened to you.
When did I share that one even?
You are 23 years old.
No, I'm trying to look to see when I actually posted that one.
I can tell you because
I'm looking. I'm already on my Twitter. I posted that one November 6th of 2022 in a group, in like a bunch chat or whatever they're called. And that was really the only time I ever posted that specific one. Yeah, I went all the way back to September 30th when I made the account. That was the only time I ever posted that one.
Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. The point is, Linkie, and I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like it's out there. I'm not saying the win of it doesn't matter. I'm saying just like where it comes from and whatnot. The whole issue with the artists and that you were being 17 when it happened is a whole other can of worms that is probably going to have to be dealt with on its own time. That's not okay, because if you're one example of them doing it, God only knows that there's probably more than one, right? Wrong? All right. Anyways, so let's get back to the point that Asuka was starting off with back at the beginning. So what you need to understand is that you came into Senate the whole Fox Mafia situation happened, you were at the very least aware of what kind of room this was. You were at the very least aware of what was going on between the Senate and the server. And I'm not even asking you to like, Linkie, what caused the Fox Mafia Senate war? No, I'm saying like what we were doing to them and what they were trying to do with us. And that was one side trying to discredit the other. Were you aware of what was going on, that they were trying to run profiling backgrounds on members of the Senate, starting with the staff?
Not entirely.
Okay. Well, what were you aware of what was going on with
Like,
the Fox Mafia that they were doing against the Senate?
Like, I knew that Fox Mafia was, how do I say it? Like, they were, quote unquote, in a war with you guys. I shouldn't even call it really a war, more like a slap fight. Well, at least they were doing the slap fight, you know. But that's all I really knew, is that it was just kind of happening. It was just sort of something that was... It was just, from my perspective, when I first joined, it was just, oh, funny drama, haha.
Okay.
That's all it was. And then I get in contact with Josh, again, ex-cast mate, fucking English, Cass's ex, there we go. And that's when things started to become more and more serious. I didn't really know about Fursky Doodle being involved. I didn't know about who the hell Gilded Pooh was or anything like that. I just knew Cass did something worse than humanly imaginable.
Okay.
That's all I knew going into Senate.
Okay, well, all right. Well, that was initially, but I'm talking about like pre this call. How much were you aware of? But let's put a pin in that real quick. Of your time being in the Senate, are you aware of what kind of room this is and what they would have done to you if they found out that you were into this shit, regardless if there was a Fox Mafia war or not?
I would have been made fun of off the planet.
Okay.
I am aware of that.
Okay.
And maybe that's what sparked the change. I don't know. I shouldn't say sparked the change. Sparked me more moving away from not safe work art. More, you had the friend situation. You had just me not being interested in art, and then you had Senate. Maybe it was just all of that.
Right. But the point here is you need to understand is that you did not tell us this. You did not do anything about this. I know you said you've tried making changes about it, but you're making what I would call a thin dick threading of the needle, where you kind of just sit there and hope things don't go wrong. Essentially, I wouldn't call it playing both sides, but it's like you want to take action, and as I've described this to Asuka, you've tried to make these changes through ideals and the words and the rhetoric that you say about this sort of content, but at the same time you have it sitting on your Twitter. And regardless of whether you considered thinking about it or not, you still kept it. And regardless of whether or not you were aware of like the specific dealings with the Fox Mafia, I know you're not a moderator of the server, but you're still a member of the server, and had someone who isn't as malicious or wasn't as like Senate oriented as Asuka is. You're blowing in your mic, dude.
Sorry.
They would have tried to make an example of you. We would have been caught with our pants down. And we would have had to do something about it. All right? I mean, we're doing something about it now. But it's just like things get as bad as they did in this hypothetical. because you didn't do anything. You didn't tell anybody anything. And it's like, I get it that there's like a certain level of maybe like shame or uncertainty or confusion, but there were definitely things that you seemed half certain about. Like, let's talk about you being anti-zoo real quick. Do you know what the majority of people within the anti-map community think of children?
Not really.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to rephrase this. So it's like there is no one singular definition when it means to be like anti something, but it's like in a majority case rules on like the morality of things. The point here being is that a good majority of them, and this is something that Ruza and Zavaya had to spend a good long amount of their time while they were doing their predator hunting shit, was to get anti-map adults from having children be used to bait pedophiles. They were fine with that. They were fine with using children, and they claimed to be anti-map.
I was the one who broke the ice about Cass doing that with Spellblade.
Well,
Like,
that's not the point, Linkie. That's not the point. I'm telling you that okay. I'm telling you that you're associating yourself with like a larger funnel of people that claim to represent you, hold the same values to, but you even know what it means to be anti-zoo. Because if it said anti-map on it, for example, that's the kind of baggage that you're having attached to, whether you agree with it or not. It's something that's now ascribed to being someone who labels themselves as anti-map. So I'm sorry. So my point is, I'm asking you if you've actually put any thought into the shift in ideals and becoming anti-zoo, and what that means and how that can affect you, regardless of the zoo art in your Twitter profile or not.
I never really gave it too much of a thought, more because just by the time the switch did happen, all that artwork was just buried.
See, that's the exact word I used to Asuka. It's like best case you could call it buried, but it's buried but not lost. That's the problem.
I see.
There's a difference between it being buried and still being easy to find. I mean, it didn't take me that long to find out about it. All I had to do was search your name, Linkie Pup, and in the media, here it was. So I don't think buried is the proper term, sorry.
Well, maybe you're right.
Well, okay, so maybe how do you believe that we could possibly be wrong?
I more view it just as the artwork was posted a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Okay.
Please let me finish. Artwork was posted over a year ago. Most people who are coming to my profile probably aren't coming to my profile. And I don't even really want to say I really gave it thought, because I never really, once it's posted, I just don't think about it anymore. And so I would only ever use Twitter at that point to just like and retweet different media things that I'm into, Warhammer, Transformers, and I would just use my Twitter for that. And I figured that if someone ever came to my profile, sure, they might see it, but I don't. How do I say this? I don't think they would ever scrub down that far, or if they ever see it, it was ever that big of an issue, but
You
clearly
just didn't
it
care.
is.
I'd say he hoped. Would you? Or sorry, she hoped. Would you say that's correct, Linkie? That you hoped that no one would go down that far to find it.
Yeah, hoped. I just. Okay, I tried to be better. And I was hoping that it would be lost.
Well, it wasn't, and I found it. And not only as a moderator of the Senate, but as a friend. Because, yes,
It's heartbreaking.
I considered you a friend. It's my responsibility to keep my friends to the same level I keep those freaks.
Because otherwise it's a double standard.
Exactly. I'm not about that.
And I do not blame you.
And it took a lot. Trust me. Took a lot to not say fuck it. Maybe I should just make it a Senate situation. But the reason why I didn't want is because, well, I know that I'm sensitive. I know you kinda are too, Linkie. Still wanted some consideration.
And I appreciate your consideration.
But hearing just hop it was lost, it was buried, I changed but I didn't remove it. Now I'm like, fuck, did I do a mistake? I just feel like you're not taking this seriously.
Are you taking this seriously, Linkie?
I am absolutely taking this seriously. I'm sorry, Asuka, that you had to see any of that. And I fully understand if you cut all ties, because honestly, I'd probably do the same thing in your situation.
Oh, I'm going to, but I'm not the one you need to be sorry to, because you have a lot of people in that Hive server that really loves you. I just wonder how I'm going to break this news to them. Because I have to do that. It's my duty as a friend. All I want to say about this situation is that after this call is done,
We're no longer going to be in contact.
Exactly. I'm going to remove you from the Senate. I'm going to remove you from my friends. River is already contacted. I'm waiting for a response from her. I will let them know, and if they want to keep you around, then I'm going to leave, and that's it. I don't have anything else to say besides that. I'm honestly disappointed.
You don't have to worry about removing me as a friend, because I've already done it.
Good. Hey, do you have anything else to say?
I mean, I feel like the brunt of it has been covered. Obviously, Linkie, it's like, we've asked you questions that are mostly, anecdotal, as in, like, we're taking your word on certain things, and if things come out in the future, that contradict that testimony, then we're probably going to have this conversation again, and it's probably not going to be in a group call. It's probably going to be in Senate.
We won't have a second call. I can assure you of that.
Okay, I just want to make you aware of that. Other than that, I'm pretty sure everything has been covered.
I've already left Senate, Omens, whichever other Reaver server I was in. I'm probably just gonna announce to myself, honest with you. and probably just leave myself from the hive rather than it having to be decided on.
Honestly, Linkie, even with this that has happened, I wish the best. But yeah, I'm
The best
hurt.
is fine. I'm screw up. Fucking idiot. What?
I don't really have anything else to say. Just please fucking improve. I don't want this to happen again. That's it. Don't have anything else to say.
You have anything else to say, Linkie? Now's the time. If not, leave, my guy. Hello? Oh.
Okay, I think my microphone. I was trying to say that I'm sorry that I couldn't have. I didn't have the forethought to be better. Instead of saying that I just was, I proved that. And that's really it. That I am sorry.
Alright. You can leave now.
Gosh. Sorry, that was my cat.
Well, that's done. Now I have to tell that to her friends.
It's not easy. I'm sure you'll find a way to manage to do it.
I have no choice. That's what I decided to do as a mod.
Good.
Well,
Don't regret your decisions, Asuka. You can have remorse towards them, but don't regret them. If you begin to regret things, then you're just betraying yourself.
oh, I don't regret it. It had to be done. I'm just me trying to if I tried to make excuses about the situation, I would have been no more better than all those peoples I despise. Now I just have to. Reaver is not responding to me, and I'm trying really hard to get in contact with a mod that can just listen to me.
So are you just going to info dump this to one of them? Or like...
I'm going to say, hey, this is in relation to Linkie. I'm just letting you know that information was brought up to me regarding some of the content that Linkie has created and shared. This content included zoophilia by animal genitals. Just had a call with Linkie where Linkie admitted to all of this. Everything is documented, the screenshots, recordings, and the call. And I'm leaving you in the mod team to make a decision, but just want you to know that if Linkie is kept in the server, then I will have no choice but to leave. That's what I plan to tell them, and if they want to keep her around, even though it's going to hurt me, then yeah, just gotta leave.
Alright. I'm here for you either way.
Mm-hmm. Well, funny enough, the only moderator of that server that is willing to talk to me is Blue, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to let the staff know that it's done.
Okay.
But thank you for the help, because an staff will have broken down way sooner. Well,
I understand.
I'm gonna go now. Thank you again.
Of course, if you need to talk, just hit me up.
Yeah, of course, I appreciate it.
Of course, Asuka, take care.
Yeah, bye.